Page 44, Rink Queen. This is a piece that they say a recital piece. It's a nice piece. The idea is it's kind of showy and it's fun, and it's once you get all the eighth notes under control, well, not too bad. It's something people would enjoy listening to. So let's look this over. I'm going to go through the routine I normally go through to learn a piece of music and see what happens. I see it's 2 pages long, treble and bass clef, 3 flats in the key signature. I see we're in the key of E flat major. And it could be E flat major or C minor, because both of those have 3 flats. I just look at the end. What's the last here? It's an E flat major chord. I figure it's an E flat major. Now they can change keys in the middle, but really what I'm just looking for an idea of the general idea. I need to know what scales and arpeggios to be working on. So here it's going to be the E flat major and C minor stuff. Now 3/4 time. A lot of eighth notes here. Just take it nice and slow and easy. In the right hand here, 1 and 2 and. You're just going back and forth. And I go on here, and I keep moving the hand in, and I mean, you can stay up here if you'd like to. It's just if you have fat fingers, you might still be able to fit because there's no black key here, but and then here. And then second line, first measure, look at. Yeah. Third line, second measure, and this is just an E flat major scale. So if you've been doing the scales, when you run across this kind of thing in music, you just do it. You don't have to worry about it. And then going up, that's just the E flat arpeggio. So if you're doing the arpeggios, at least 2 octaves up and down, you don't have to go this fast, but you're doing them, and you're doing the tremolo exercise, you'll find that you just play this kind of stuff when it comes in music. And then going on. Now, this is up to you, of course. The fingering in the book is fine, but again, this is kind of a fast piece. Kinda, it is a fast piece. And we have repeated notes. Here. I prefer to use different fingers on repeated notes, especially when it's fast. Now at the beginning here, I'm talking beginning, it's the last measure, the 3rd line. The beginning of this section here. I can go ahead and use 4th finger on both of these because the first one is just a quarter note. But I go from an 8th note to a quarter note, that's quick. So I want to go, I'm going to do a 3/4 on each of these. 3 and then a 4. I'm going to do the same fingering on each of this. So again, it's a here, 4, 1, 3, and then a 4. 4. This is the same fingering for each. Now, remember when I first do this, I want to connect everything. So again, I'm connecting this. There. 4, 2, 1. Reach up. If you can't reach that, just go ahead and move. Here. You do it again. So forth. Now, top of page 45, the last 4 measures there, just B flats. Doing that. Now, bottom of page 45, last line, you're here. And we have these parallel 4ths. That's an interval of a 4th, 1, 2, 3, 4. And they're parallel, they're just going up. And they have here. I don't like doing a 1, 1, 3 on all of them because you got here. You got black keys involved in things. So I'm going to recommend a slightly different fingering, but you're going to have to work it out yourself. I'm going to do 1, 2 for the half note. I'm going to do a 3, 2, 5, 1, 2, 1, 3, 2, 4, 2, 5, 1, 2, 1, 3, 1, 4, and then a 3, 5. Here, I get the last one. I'm just doing here. And I'm back to that again. and then again, I'm doing that. Here, here. So it's a 1, 3, 5, and then 1, 2. Just work on that. Get that part. Slowly. I've only moved one time so far. And then here, this is, and here. I mean, they're different fingerings. The point is, I don't want to use the same 2 fingers on all of them. I got to move every time. I don't want to move that much. I don't want to move at all if I can help it. See, I've tried several different fingerings and any of them will work. So you pick a fingering, pencil it in the music, and stick with it. Left hand, let's see what it's up to. Well, it starts out with the broken chords. You should use a 4 on that G technically because that's the chord and that's the fingering for it. If you want to use 3, it's up to you. I don't know how big your hands are. Connect these if you can. You can't, but now 3rd line down, last measure here. If you got big hands, you can't do that. You got to do that. Well, good luck with that. Here and then. Fortunately, if you got the right hand under control, then you can focus on the left hand on these to move these. Top of page 45, 3rd measure over. You're here, and then the left hand, the left hand's going to play the notes with the stems going down. Here, 1, 2, 1. Basically, and then up here, and I do a 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2 just because I don't like using the same finger all the time. So then we put the hands together slowly. It's here. Okay, go down to the 3rd line, last measure. You're here. Notes down here. Top of page 45, you're here, 1st measure, 1 and 2 and 3. 1 and 2 and. See that left hand note? That's on beat 2. 1 and 2 and 3. Second line, 3rd measures. See the flat? They put it in parentheses because it really isn't necessary. It's a flat anyway because there's an A flat in the key signature. And that natural sign in the 2nd measure is only good for that measure. But it's good to be clear so it doesn't hurt being there, but it's just, that's why it's in parentheses. It's a courtesy sign. So it's okay, let's go down to the bottom. Last line here. You just got octaves in the left hand, so if you can focus on the right hand. Here and then here, bass clef. So you got 1 treble clef note in the left and bass clef, and then finish it off. How you finger this at the end of the right hand is up to you. I tend to do a 2-5 here because, again, I don't like moving my hand around, so I can just reach up. But you can do a 1-2-4 there, 1-2-5, whatever. Just do it. Put the hands together, and then again, I'm trying to connect everything still, and then go back through and get rid of the hesitations. Speed doesn't matter. Take it slow. Using the metronome if you have to. Find the hardest part in here, wherever it is, and work on that and keep it slow. Once you have the hesitations out of the way, then we'll think about the articulation. You have slurring. Connect this if you can. You can, but connect it. And this is all. And at the end of the 1st line, they're lifting up. I disagree. I would connect all these 8th notes together. Just one long line. It goes so fast, you don't have time to lift up. So just connect them all. Now you have a few marcato notes. See look at the 1st line, last measure in right hand. You see that F? There's a little caret. That's a marcato. That's a strong accent. They want you to bring all those out. Bring all those out. Now, when you get down to the third line, last measure, here, staccato, accent. So 1, 2. They put now the accent on second beat. And you got accent. I don't know that you need accents in the left hand. It's the right hand we want to hear. Make sure bum bum. Top of page 45, third measure staccato, and then they have 2 new tones over the left hand. Just linger on them, connect them out here. These are not staccatos. It all kind of sounds like staccatos because of the 8th notes, but again, between the 2 hands you're connecting them. Second line is there. You're connecting these. It's not staccato. No, connect. This kind of blends into it. At the bottom of page 45, here's staccato. Staccato. You can hinge at the wrist here, but this is getting up to really loud, and when it gets louder, you got to use larger muscles. So you may have to start using more arm, but let the wrist stay collapsed here. Let the wrist stay loose, not collapsed. Don't stiffen up and play. It says here. Accent and then these are accented. Something like that. You experiment. And these are short staccatos here at the bottom of here. It's short staccatos. Look on page 44, third line down, last 2 measures. The last 3 measures. You have this. You have a staccato. Put a staccato on the left hand too. There's none there, it should be. Both hands come up together. Here, together. Otherwise you're gonna have that down for the rest of the beat, and we don't want that. Both together. Dynamics. Now this goes to the right hand. It's soft at the beginning, piano. The left hand's very soft. Now these marcato notes, they're gonna be like mezzo piano, sort of soft to sort of loud. You got to bring those out. And in the second line, poco a poco crescendo, you're going to gradually crescendo up to loud, but don't get loud to the last measure. So you're going to do this just a measure or 2 at a time. So in the second line, you're starting soft, a little louder, now loud. Come down a little bit so you got more room to go up. You go up to very loud, about moderately loud in the right hand. See, this part, I'm loud there, here. And that last note, that's very loud. And then loud, the accented note's going to be very loud then. Bottom line, mezzo piano. And then at top of page 45, third measure, you start out mezzo piano, modern soft, and you're gradually going to go up to loud, but don't get loud. Second line now, sort of loud. Save most of your crescendo toward the end of that, and then you're loud. Soft, slow down, and then soft. Like you were at the beginning. And then you get louder and softer, and you can do all that too. It ends very loud, but don't pound on it. At the end, these very loud chords, fortissimo. Let the wrist collapse a little bit. It's just using a lot of weight. There, and then here. Yeah, a lot of weight on it. Let the wrist collapse a little bit. Now, speed. Well, presto is really fast. It has to be accurate. So your presto is whatever it is. It's faster than vivace. For a lot of people, it's as fast as you can play. I don't know how fast you can play, but again, it's got to be accurate. Metronome markings are fine. I wouldn't go faster than that. It's one of the things about playing piano when you're playing quickly. It will actually sound faster if you slow it down a little bit and make sure you have all the notes and they're even and controlled. It will sound faster if you do that than if you try and play it fast and you're kind of faking your way through it. Slow it down a little bit. Make sure you get all these eighth notes in. Find the hardest part of it. Maybe the third line here. How fast can you play that accurately? And that could be how fast you can do the piece. Now the pedal, well, at the beginning, they're just reinforcing the natural accent. 1, 2. This type of pedaling is used a lot in waltz pedaling, where you just pedal it for the first beat here. Here you're going to have to push the pedal down with the notes, or because it goes too quick. You don't have time to lag pedal this. You got to go down with the notes. Now when you get down to the third line, they want you to... And the idea with that is because you're building up to very loud. We want all that to build up, and we need the pedal to help build that up. Otherwise, I would say don't pedal that. But go ahead and pedal it. But you got to lift it up now for the staccato when you get there. And then going on, we're throwing the accent off a little bit. Now it's going to be on the second beat, so you're pedaling that. You get the idea? It throws it off a little bit, the pedaling. So you may have to slow this down until you can get the pedaling working, because your foot's not synced up like you think it should be. Page 45, second line, they have, it's loud. You build up to this. Here. That, we want that. And then release it. And you're back to what you were doing at the beginning. Now at the bottom of the page, on the half note here, push it down with it and release it when you play the first here. So you're connecting them, but the staccato. And then the last 3 measures, the pedal goes down with the notes and up with the notes. So you get the overtones with it, because this is really loud in here. It's really loud, so the pedal goes down with the hands here. We do that a lot on really loud stuff. We use the pedal to give us the overtones to help the loudness. Watch out on the odd tempo there in the end of the second line. On page 45, you're here. And you take off again. One way is to just take off again. So the last 4 measures of that line is here. You just suddenly just take off. Another way is to speed up back into it. Like you accelerate slightly, but don't take more than a beat or 2 to do it. So it's just take a couple of beats or so to and then speed up. That's interpretation. You decide on what you like, try one and see what you think. Now on page 46 there is a quiz, and I don't know how important it is to know some of these things, but there it's in here. I'll go through them and let's see what we got. So if you don't want me giving you the answers, don't watch this yet, because I'm about to give you the answers, I think. Unless I get them wrong, I don't know. I'm going to give you the answers from my perspective. Number 1, andante is an appropriate tempo for clog dance. So you have to go back and look up clog dance. And you find clog dance kind of a happy dance. Andante is just a leisure stroll. The answer is no, it's not. It's false here. I think all of these are true false. Okay. Number 2, Mussorgsky lived in Russia, and that's true. Number 3, Chopin wrote The Great Gates of Kiev, and that's false. Go look it up. It was somebody else. Number 4, Ethelbert Nevin was an Italian composer. You have to go look him up, see where he was. I really don't care where he was. He composed, okay. The answer is false. He was an American, I believe. Number 5, when playing a series of triplets, it is wise to accent the first note of each beat. That's kind of misleading. I don't like that question at all. It's so misleading. I guess what they mean is the first note of each triplet, because if a triplet comes on a beat, the first note comes on a beat. The idea is that when you subdivide beats, then yes, each beat gets a slight natural accent, but it's not a true accent. It's just a little extra stress. So you can feel it, triplet, triplet, triplet. So yes. So I guess it's true is what they're trying to say here. Number 6, the 3/8 of this triplet, and it's showing a triplet with 3/8 notes, okay, would be played faster than 2/8 notes, and that's correct because you got to get 3 notes in at the same time you would get 2 notes in, so you got to play the notes a little faster to get them in the same amount of time. Number 7, dies al fine saves the composer's time in writing music. Actually, it does. And also, sometimes it's the publisher that does it. They say printing. They could save a page or 2 of printing if they can do a dies al fine. Number 8, fine means to slow down. That's false. Fine means the end. Number 9, pesante means heavy. That's sort of true. I'd go with that, yeah. Number 10, a sharp sign is sometimes enclosed in parentheses, and the answer is correct. It can be if it's a courtesy sign. They're putting it in to help you out, to remind you. It could be in parentheses. Doesn't have to be, but a lot of times it is. Number 11, the italic 3 indicating a triplet is sometimes omitted, and that's correct. Sometimes you don't get the 3 for triplets because you get the 3 notes. Sometimes you get a 3, and sometimes you get a slur. Sometimes you don't get the slur or the 3. You just get the 3 notes that are beamed together, and you have to figure out that it's a triplet according to the rhythm. To get them all in, it has to be a triplet. That's what it can be interesting figuring it out sometimes. Number 12, in playing black key octaves, it is often advisable to use the 1st and 4th fingers. Depends on who you ask. Franz Liszt was a big believer in using 4th finger on black key octaves and 5th finger for the white keys, but there are times when you got to use the 5th finger on a black key. So I'm going to say if you can, 4th finger's great. If not, use 5th finger. I'm not going to say it's advisable or anything. It's different styles of fingering technique. So here I'm guessing they want a true because I think that's what the book was teaching, but in reality, who knows what it is. Number 13, many great composers were influenced by other great composers, and that's true, they were. Number 14, Baum was a German composer. I believe that's true, yes. Number 15, a double dot after a note doubles the value of the note. No, it does not. I mean, it's longer than a single dot, but it's not double the value. No, it's not quite. Number 16, in 9/8 time, there are 3 natural accents in each measure. And the answer is, I think they're looking for true, but the answer is probably. You have to study the music and see how it divides up. Usually it divides up into 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That comes to 3 natural accents in each measure. Number 17, broken chords are always rolled from top to bottom, and that's false. It can go either direction. Most of the time they go from bottom to top. But sometimes you'll see a little arrow at the bottom of the wavy line, and that indicates to roll it top to bottom. So they could go either way, although most of the time it's bottom to top. If there's nothing marked, it's just a wavy line, go bottom to top. Number 18, rubato means to play in strict time, and that's false. Rubato is give and take on the tempo and the timing. Speeds up and slow down and whatever. Number 19, a quintuplet or quintuplet, however you want to pronounce it, I don't care. Note group is a series of 5 notes. That's true. Quin means 5. Rubinstein studied with Hoffman, and that's false. This is number 20, and that's false. Hoffman studied under Rubinstein, and it's Antone or Antone, however you want to pronounce it. Rubinstein. There's more than one Rubinstein, so don't get confused. Arthur Rubinstein came later. He was a famous pianist later. This is Rubinstein, and a Hoffman studied under him. Number 21, 2 slanting lines indicate the end of a musical thought. These 2 lines that go here, or depending on which way you're going. And that's not, well, it can be true. They don't really indicate the end of a musical thought, although the end of a musical thought a lot of times happens there. They indicate a pause, a complete silence just for a moment. Yeah, that's what they're for. If it happens to happen at the end of a thought, fine. But if it happens in the middle of a thought, that's fine too. So I don't know. In my mind, the answer is false here because they're really intended to indicate a pause. Number 22, this sign, and they show a little X, raises the note a half step, and that's false. A sharp raises the note a half step. That little X raises it 2 half steps, or a whole step. It's a double sharp. Number 23, this sign, they show 2 flat signs next to each other, lowers the note a whole step, and that's true. 1 flat goes down a half step, 2 flats would go down another half step or a whole step. Number 24, in learning to play 2 notes against 3, it is advisable to count 2 to each beat. I don't know what they're looking for here. I don't know if they want to, in my mind, you just gotta feel this. It's just 1 bum bum bum, bum 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 bum, bum 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 bum, is how I'm doing it. I don't know if I'm feeling 2 beats or 3 beats in there because I'm doing both at the same time. So I don't know that you need to feel 2 beats all the time because you don't want to lose the triplet feel, the 3-note feel. I would just do it all together as one rhythm, and 1, 2, and 3, 1, 2, and 3, and 1 and 2 and in that sense I'm doing it 3 beats. 1, 2, and bum 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 bum. Bum, bum, bum. I don't know that it's advisable to count 2 to each beat or not. I don't know if that's true or false. Good luck with that one. Edward MacDowell was an American composer, and that's true. That's number 25, the last one. So you made it through this, fine. If you don't have a teacher, I encourage you to go back through the book again, review everything, review the lessons, learn to play these pieces better and faster, the fast ones and all. Take your time with it before going to the next book. Yeah.